Hey everybody, Mark here. Here's a little Christmas gift for everybody. I am so sorry I have not been able to keep up with uploads as much as I easily could have, but there were some problems. I had some moving to deal with, and I did manage to get a couple out, but not at the rate I would have liked. Hopefully next year in 2020 will be a lot better. Anyway, this here will be my last upload for the year 2019, and I will see you guys in 2020. Also, one more thing. I couldn't get a lot of female voices, so for a lot of them, I had to use my own voice. If you guys want to know what I sound like as a girl, here's your chance to know about it. I hope you all enjoy Miraculous Ladybug, Krampus. Merry Christmas.
The day was December 24th, Christmas Eve, and school had let out the holidays in Paris. Everyone gathered their belongings from the lockers as it would be the last time they would use it before lessons returned in January.
Would you like to donate to the Nativity Major Animals Fund?
Marinette turned around and saw a beaming Rose and a solemn Julika.
What? The Nativity Major Animals Fund! It's a fund Julika's mom started up for abused farm animals so they can get medical care and find a better home!
Marinette had never heard of such a fund, though given that she and her family gave too many different charities on Christmas and new ones popped up all the time in France, she assumed it was a new one.
It's a way to give those who don't have any defense a second chance at life. Isn't that what Christmas is about?
Marinette couldn't argue with that. She took out a 10-euro bill and placed it in Rose's collection box.
Thank you so much, Marinette! Merry Christmas! Same here.
You're welcome. Make sure those animals get the help they deserve. Merry Christmas!
As Marinette walked out of school, a sweet yet entrancing voice stopped her in her tracks.
Hey Marinette, Merry Christmas.
Marinette gulped. Ever since that day in the rain, she had a paralyzing nervousness around him, until she kissed him on the cheek during Heroes Day. She wasn't that nervous around him anymore, but she still hadn't confessed her love to him.
Adrian, hi! Merry Christmas. Do you have any plans for tomorrow?
Actually, I'm spending Christmas with Nino and his family. Father is going to Switzerland for a business meeting. Just once, I'd like to spend at least one Christmas without either my mother's disappearance or business getting in the way.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Oh, no, it's fine, just... Christmas is supposed to be about family, and the only family I have is in another country.
Adrian looked down at the ground. He wished for a little bit that he had a normal life. Like the friends he had would still be there, but Adrian Agreste was a normal kid with a loving family. But he looked on the bright side.
Well, at least I'll be with Nino for the holiday season, so it's not all that bad.
He smiled. Then Nino and Alia showed up holding some gifts for their friends. Nino covered in kisses.
What did I tell you, man?
No, there's not.
Let me dream, babe.
Alia moved closer to Marinette and handed her and Adrian each a gift from her and her sisters.
Hope you guys like it. Etta, Ella, and I worked hard to make sure that they got here in time.
Oh, that reminds me. Merry Christmas, bro. Open it before we get to the house, okay?
Adrian opened it immediately and saw the Ladybug branded cologne he had been eyeing. Adrian wanted to buy it, but his father didn't particularly like her for some odd reason.
Thanks, Nino, but why did you want me to open it out here? My cousin is coming tonight, and he makes fun of any guy who has pink anything. Look at the liquid inside.
Adrian opened the box and found the glass vial with a bright pink cologne inside.
Thank you, Nino. I have something for you as well, but you have to wait till morning to open it. See you around, Marinette. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Adrian. I love you.
What?
I said, and a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year as well.
Adrian and Nino walked away, leaving Alia face-palming and Marinette turning red like a stoplight.
Oh, why did I say that? That was so embarrassing.
Yeah, that was. Seriously, girl, I love you and all, but that was really bad.
I know. Adrian must think I'm weird.
Well, you seem to buy the Happy New Year save, so I think you're good.
Come on, let's go back to my house. I'm sure Etzer and Ella were already dropped off.
Alright, it's starting to get cold anyway.
Alia's family was heading to Japan to visit Nora, who was training for the New Japan Wrestling League. So, she and her sisters were staying with Marinette for Christmas and New Year.
Okay, I still cannot believe you are Ladybug, Marinette.
Earlier, I told you about it a couple months ago. I trusted you, and Master Fu said it was okay as long as you didn't post it on the late blog. You didn't, did you?
Mari, you know I have your back. Besides, Tiki still looks cute.
Thank you, Alia.
Tiki went to the macron jar and retrieved herself a macron, then followed Marinette upstairs. There on Marinette's bed were 3 miraculous boxes, along with a note.
Dear Marinette, I'm leaving for China to refuel on certain supplies. Please take care of tricks, pollen, and waste, and give them to your friends when necessary. Please return on January the 3rd. Happy holidays, Master Fu.
Alia, joyous, went over to the Fox Miraculous box and let Trix out.
Oh yeah, season's greetings!
Merry Christmas to you too, Trix.
The girls and their kwamis chatted for a bit before they heard Etta and Ella calling for them. Meanwhile, in the Agreste mansion, Gabriel Agreste and his assistant Natalie Sencour did not actually leave. They were holed up in Hawkmoth's lair with a fire going and some food being cooked up by Gabriel himself.
Sir, I'm confused. If you're able to do this, why did you send your son away on Christmas? Remember what happened last year? After such events, I'd rather my son be happy than hurt this Christmas. I even made my peace with Nino and his family and persuaded them to keep him there for the holiday season. I even delivered his gifts. But it's Christmas! I think you should at least try to spend it with your son. After that failure on Heroes Day and almost losing you in the same fashion as my wife, my mood is just as miserable as ever. I don't want to lose my son again on Christmas. Adrian and I will have Christmas together next year. Whether I get the Miraculous during the intervening time is completely up to Ladybug and Cat Noir. I think you two should spend together regardless. Your wife would have wanted it that way. Next year, Natalie. For right now,
Gabriel paused to pour some Chardonnay into 2 wine glasses.
to saving Emily. To bringing Adrian's happiness back. To France winning the World Cup.
They both laughed and enjoyed their dinner. Gabriel even let Nuru enjoy some turkey.
Oh. Then again, evil never takes a holiday. Nuru, scarf that pudding slice down. We need to make an Akuma. Yes, master.
Nuru shoveled the French tort pudding down his gullet and hurried to the window.
You bastard!
Thomas looked to the farmer as he held his cane up and brought it down on Thomas's head a couple of times until Thomas was bleeding.
If I catch you eating that bale again, you'll be my Christmas dinner!
The farmer then left and slammed the door. Thomas whimpered and cried to himself as the blood trickled down his face.
A belligerent old goat neglected by his farmer to the point of abuse. Sounds like perfect prey for my Akumas. Go now, little one, and evilize it.
Hawkmoth evilized the butterfly and sent it out into the cold winter night. The butterfly flew until it found its intended target. The hurt goat, who was moaning in pain, heard a voice in the dark butterfly, landed on the ceramic bell tied to his neck.
Krampus, I am Hawkmoth. The abuse you have suffered at the hands of your farmer is deplorable. If you follow me, I will find you a better home. All I need in return is Ladybug and Cat Noir's Miraculous.
Meh, meh, meh.
Then Thomas transformed into a hulking, horned beast and wore a blood-red cloak with white fur along the fingers.
But first things first, my newly appointed fiend of Christmas. The farmer who had harmed you must pay for his negligence. You may have your revenge first, but then proceed with the task at hand.
Yes, Hawkmoth.
Later that night, at Nino's house, everyone from Nino's family was celebrating Christmas. Some were drinking a lot of champagne. The kids were playing British Christmas crackers and gathering paper crowns and small toys.
So, why does your Kwame like Camembert? I don't know why. For some reason, he just wanted cheese. He likes other cheeses, but Camembert is his go-to one. Yep, I love Brie and Roquefort, even some cheddar and that spray cheese in a can. But to me, nothing says cheese like Camembert. If I could marry Camembert, I would marry Camembert. Adrian, your Kwame needs counseling. Yeah, but as long as Plague has some cheese, I'm happy. Good boy. Now, can you see if they have any Camembert cookies? Are those even a thing? They are if you believe. Plague, you're not Tinkerbell. Please! Tinkerbell wishes she were me.
While Plague and Nino playfully argued over the merits of Camembert in baked goods, Adrian looked outside the window, wondering if his father was having a Merry Christmas and wishing that they were together for once. But Nino and his family were like family, so he was content. Both boys were unaware of the danger heading their way.
Come on, girls, time for bed. Perry Noel needs time to get your stockings filled.
But we aren't tired yet. Can you at least tell us a Christmas story?
How about 'Twas the Night Before Christmas?
We heard it already. No. How about a scary Christmas story?
That's a little weird. Why would Christmas be scary?
Think about it. A guy breaks into your house. What if it's the wrong one?
Marinette did cringe a little bit. That was always a fear that was in the back of her mind. Though break-ins still scared her, she was now older and knew better. Alia, however, thought it was an interesting idea.
But what should I tell you that wouldn't be too scary?
What kind of Christmas story has scary stuff in it?
I bet there are some.
Then they heard a laugh outside the guest room door.
How about the story of the Krampus?
Marinette went pale. Her father told her about it when she was 5 years old. She dreaded the Krampus the most. She spent her 5th Christmas hiding in her closet, praying she would see the next morning.
The Krampus is a demon that follows Père Noël and finds naughty children. Now, we're not talking about once in a while naughtiness. We're talking about consistently taking macaroons out of the jar without asking for one, telling lies, not doing what you're told, staying up late, that sort of thing. If Krampus sees you have done these things constantly throughout the year, well, he'll put you in his sack, take you to purgatory for all eternity, and torture you there. As for your family, he will kill them and burn the house down, sometimes the whole village if necessary. Now, you haven't been naughty throughout the year, have you?
Etta and Ella shook their heads. They weren't scared, but they were intrigued.
Then you've nothing to worry about. Merry Christmas, girls.
Tom smiled and turned out the light. Marinette and Alia said goodnight to the girls, placing their stockings at the foot of their beds. Marinette was still terrified, even though the story wasn't for her. Marinette and Alia walked downstairs for some water when Alia decided to speak. Tom smiled and turned out the light. Marinette and Alia said goodnight to the girls, placing their stockings at the foot of their beds. Marinette was still terrified, even though the story wasn't for her. Marinette and Alia walked downstairs for some water when Alia decided to speak.
Sorry, Alia. That story always scares me. Whenever you told it me on Christmas, I would hide in the closet until morning.
Well, if it's any consolation, my sisters loved the story. They didn't look scared at all.
Well, they ain't 5 either, so they won't have nightmares. But still, I thought that story was too scary for them.
Oh, come on, Mari. It's just a story.
I guess you're right. But still, the way my dad told it.
It's gonna be okay.
Marinette just nodded. She then looked outside and tried to focus on something else. She tried focusing on Christmas morning with everyone happy and being together. Little did she know that she would be in for a long night.
I see you had fun with your revenge of the farmer. Now, did you find the miraculous?
Not yet, Hawkmoth, but I do sense something strange around the bread building.
Apologies. Did you say a bread building?
A place where people get bread and eat it at home.
You mean the bakery? That is where Mr. Peng Cheng lives. I wonder. Go search for the Miraculous in there.
Yes, Hawkmoth.
Krampus jumped off the spire and glided to the bakery. All the while, the Krampus's anger shorted the lightning and electricity, and even put out fires in the fireplaces, enveloping the streets and homes in darkness.
What's going on? It's not storming outside.
Why aren't the flashlights working? Papa replaced the bulbs and batteries last week.
Marinette tried every flashlight in the closet, and none seemed to work. She didn't know what was going on.
Papa, do you have charge on your phone?
Yes, honey. I don't get it. These should all be fixed.
Well, the phones seem to be working. It must be a power line issue.
Oh no. I mean, that doesn't explain the flashlight's not working.
Alia, let's go check on your sisters. They must be frightened.
So Marinette and Alia headed upstairs, but not before they noticed the bakery door open.
Did you open the door?
They rushed upstairs, but not before grabbing something to hit the intruder with.
Anna! Ella!
He's real. I don't understand. How is Krampus real?
Well, maybe next time, when your dad starts telling a Christmas horror story, maybe he can tell one with a non-kid killing monster who attacks near a well-lit police station!
Then they heard a scream downstairs. It was from Tom and Sabine. The girls raced downstairs to see Tom being stuffed in a sack and Sabine struggling to get free.
Let me go!
Sabine reached for a pitcher of water and smashed it on the Krampus's face, which only angered the creature as he stuffed Sabine into the sack and clenched it shut. The Krampus roared and fled outside.
Mom! Dad! No!
Mari.
Marinette was in shock. How could this be happening on Christmas Eve of all days?
Guys, I don't mean to interrupt, but my Akuma sisters were going mad. What's going on out there?
Tiki, you mean Krampus was an Akuma?
Yes, I thought you would have noticed that the Krampus looked nothing like the original.
Oh, great. Not only is the Akuma taking stuff of nightmares, but he's also kidnapping my parents.
You are gonna need help.
Alia, go get Nino, then find Canoir. Hurry!
What about you?
I gotta get her.
Be strong. Trix, let's pounce!
Tiki, spots on!
The girls transformed into their miraculous forms and head off to find help. Meanwhile, at the bourgeois mansion, Chloe was startled awake by the sound of breaking glass. She went out of her room in a fluffy robe and looked around the hallway.
Jean-Philippe! There's a broken window in my house!
She heard no response from her butler. She put on her slippers and went to look for him.
Making me get up and look for my own butler on Christmas? What is going on?
Chloe searched for her butler when she came across a horrific sight. The Krampus stood before her, her mother and father gagged and placed in a sack, screaming for their daughter to run, but Chloe was paralyzed with so much fear she couldn't move.
Oh my god, I tell you, go back in my house! Daddy, security, help!
The Krampus threw a ripped security badge label at her, which landed at her feet.
Send more security. They are delicious.
Chloe screamed in horror and ran for the front door. But the Krampus caught up with her, grabbed her ponytail, and began to drag her back to the sack. Just then, a vase struck the Krampus in the head, causing him to let go. Chloe then saw Ladybug, who glared at Krampus.
You really shouldn't grab people's hair. It's not nice.
The Krampus glared at Ladybug. Then Hawkmoth spoke to Krampus.
That's her! Take her, Miraculous!
Krampus roared and charged at Ladybug, who quickly dodged and grabbed Chloe and headed to the broom closet.
Oh my god, Ladybug, thank you for saving me, but my mommy and daddy are still out there with that thing!
It's just a really bad Akuma, but for some reason he's taken family members away. I don't know why, but we need to take care of it before someone gets hurt.
Right. So?
So what?
Pollen, where is she?
Of course.
Ladybug took out the jewelry box and handed it to Chloe, who opened it up and revealed Pollen and the bee Miraculous.
Merry Christmas, darling. Merry Christmas, Pollen. Pollen, buzz on!
Chloe then transformed into Queen Bee and rushed out of the closet, only to find Krampus and the bourgeois gone. But they had more to worry about as the house started to burn. Ladybug and Queen Bee jump out the window before the house was fully engulfed in flames.
My home!
Once Akuma's cured, he will be brought back, remember?
Right. We need to stop him.
We're gonna need to find Cat Noir.
Back at Nino's house, Nino and Adrian were getting ready for bed. Tomorrow is the big day, but they heard a knock on the window and saw Rene Rouge.
Alia, what are you doing here? I thought you were at Marinette's house. Wait, Alia is Rene Rouge?
Nino, seriously, we will need to talk about this later. Right now I need to get you guys somewhere safe.
Yeah, Nino also told me he was Carapace, so go ahead and give him his Miraculous.
What?
And he knows I'm Cat Noir.
What? Nino, you better hope Krampus gets to you before I do!
She took out the jewelry box containing the Eternal Miraculous. Adrian was interested in seeing Waze. Nino gulped, but opened the jewelry box anyway. Waze came out.
Yo, Waze, Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas, Nino. Nice to see you again. Waze, shell on! Plague, claws out!
The boys transformed into Cat Noir and Carapace and ran out of the house.
Nino, keep it down!
The team met up at Christmas market, and several people were still getting in some last-minute enjoyment.
You three took your time getting here.
Sorry guys, some of us had some last-minute revelations!
I meant to tell you.
Well, what you meant doesn't matter, especially when one person could be affected by it.
Enough! We need to focus on the problem at hand.
Meanwhile, outside the market of the Krampus was standing on a roof overlooking the market. Hawkmoth spoke to him again.
What am I doing? Why do I keep pausing? Jesus Christ. They are teaming up again. Though, I suppose that was to be expected. Give us a moment, Krampus. Someone will send you an ally very soon.
Out of the darkness, Hawkmoth sadly smiled at Mayura, who akumatized a feather plume and sent it to the Krampus.
Once you give Krampus your help, rest, Mayura. You have earned it.
Once the feather plume landed on the ceramic bell, Krampus heard Mayura call out to him.
Krampus, I am Mayura. I sense your despair. Allow me to make you some allies.
Yes, Mayora.
The snow around him began to take shape. Krampus noticed it all and began to smile a gnarled, toothy grin. Team Miraculous had settled down from their arguing. Carapace hugged Rene Rouge with a regret.
I'm sorry, honey. I should have told you sooner.
It's okay, baby. Just tell me next time, okay?
I will.
Okay, seriously, what the hell were you two fighting about?
Enough! We need to focus on the problem at hand.
Before Ladybug could finish her sentence, all the lights and torches at the Christmas market blew out. The crowds at the market looked around, wondering what was going on. Ladybug and Renee knew, however.
He's here!
Then, out of nowhere, they heard sleigh bells. The crowd was also confused by the sound.
Did any of you guys bring your phone?
Who has sleigh bells for a ringtone?
Then, they slowly turned around and saw Krampus. But this time, he was surrounded by an army of snowmen who looked angry and were carrying icicles on them. Krampus stepped forward, flanked by snowmen generals on both sides.
Ladybug, Cat Noir, give me your Miraculous.
Wow, someone got some interesting toys this Christmas.
We have no choice. We have to find the snowman, and we're gonna de-evilize the Akuma.
Team Miraculous gathered their weapons and charged at the snowmen. who also charged at the team. Krampus even joined in the fray, taking on Carapace, Rene Rouge, and Cat Noir at once, while Queen Bee and Ladybug took on the snowmen to protect the market-goers and the children. The snowmen were easy to defeat, but like the Hydra, when one snowman was destroyed, 2 more took its place.
Ladybug, look!
She pointed at the bell, and Ladybug at once understood.
That must be where the Kuma is. We need to track Krampus long enough to get it out.
Then they witnessed Krampus walk over to Cat Noir, grabbed him by his tail, and open his sack with screams echoing out of it.
Pervert? Moi? Just because I like my princess? I don't cross any lines. I'm like you!
Cat Noir scratched the previous injuries to Krampus' face, causing him to roar out in pain. Cat Noir used the pain to get free and head back to Carapace and Rene, who were recovering from the shock of being throttled by the Krampus.
He called me a pervert. I'm not a pervert!
Focus, Kitty. We need to get that bell. It's where the Kuma is.
With how strong he is, we won't get a hit on him.
Well, Ladybug was able to get one in when she swung my mommy's expensive vase at him, which she will have to replace.
Okay, Bee.
An Accio Wedgwood vase starting at 3,000 euros.
I get it! We need to distract him.
Ladybug then threw her yo-yo in the air and shouted,
Lucky Charm!
The yo-yo transformed into a cologne in a spray can. The cologne was labeled Lynx Body Spray Cat Noir Edition. Smell like Paris's hottest cat superhero.
Body spray?
She then saw Rene Rouge, Cat Noir, and Carapace highlighted along with the spray can. Then a trail began forming in all directions. That is when it hit her.
We need to confuse Krampus. The spray contains Cat Noir's scent. Sorry guys, but this has to happen.
Ladybug then sprayed liberally all over Rene Rouge, Carapace, and Cat Noir. The scent of Camembert filled the air. Everyone grimaced as the aerosol clouded dissipated.
That is not right.
Oh man! Can you promise me for a New Year's resolution that you will feed your Kwame something other than Camembert, please? Noted.
Sorry guys, but he's attracted to Cat Noir.
What? Why me?
He tried to put you in the sack.
Well, lady, I don't want to be taken by a mutated goat man, and I'm pretty sure the others don't want to be either.
Would you rather all these children take your place?
Cat Noir and the others looked around and saw many children crying and hugging their parents.
No. Let's stop this crazed goat demon.
The Krampus then broke through the nativity scene and smelled the air for Cat Noir.
Guys, go!
Rene Rouge and Carapace ran in separate directions, while Cat Noir ran in between their directions. Krampus started to get confused. The deviant cat was running around, but it ran in several directions. It sniffed air and tried running after the cat running in Rene's directions.
What about us, Ladybug?
Get the bees ready.
Rene ran through the maze of stalls, panting and panicking, looking around for any sort of corner.
Oh god, this is so crazy! This is crazy! This is crazy!
Then Krampus crashed through one of the stalls. He grabbed Rene as she screamed by her ponytail. However, he smelled her again and got through the lynx odor and found Rene's scent instead.
Deception.
Just then, Cat Noir ran by the vicinity and froze when he saw Krampus. However, Krampus saw him and began to chase after him.
Oh no! This is not perfect!
Ladybug overheard this and facepalmed. Even in mortal peril, Cat Noir always found a way to make a pun. But she had to lead the rest of her team to apprehend the Krampus.
Follow that cat!
They follow Cat Noir and Krampus as the creature chased the leather-suited kitten throughout the festive market. Krampus wanted to punish this flirtatious cat. Cat Noir was not willing to be stuffed in a sack, so he made Krampus more and more embittered by throwing debris in the path.
Try to catch this kitty!
Krampus roared as Cat Noir ran through the market. Eventually, he was in a corner. Krampus found him, grinned, and lurched towards Cat Noir to grab him. He wanted to stuff this cat into the sack and throw them into the underworld. Queen Bee came up to Krampus and smacked him.
Give my mommy and daddy back!
Queen Bee! Not now!
No, let me go.
Ladybug took out her yo-yo while Krampus struggled to break free from his paralysis. Cat Noir saw this as a chance to get his revenge and smiled.
Time for you to pay for calling me a pervert. Cataclysm!
With that, Cat Noir destroyed the ceramic bell, reverting Krampus back into Thomas the Goat.
No!
Seeing that as her cue, Ladybug got her yo-yo ready.
No more evil doom for you, little Akuma. Time to de-evilize!
She swung her yo-yo at the Akumatized butterfly and captured it, purifying it.
Bye-bye, little butterfly.
Then she threw her yo-yo in the air to fix everything.
Miraculous Ladybug!
Once she said that, everything from the broken Christmas market stalls, bourgeois mansion, and the Dupain chain bakery was repaired as though it was never touched. The sack that Krampus had was ripped up, and the hostages were freed and back in their homes with the lights turned back on.
Just in time.
Wait a second. You aren't Krampus. You're just a little goat.
Team Miraculous looked at the weary and weak goat. Ladybug then took notice of the gashes on Thomas's.
What happened to your face, little guy?
Then she noticed the dried blood on his face and bruises around Thomas's eyes. She immediately knew.
Oh my, poor little guy. No wonder Hawkmoth akumatized you.
What happened?
Look at his face. Someone hurt this little goat badly.
What? Why would anyone want to hurt an animal?
That is so low. What are we gonna do? We can't take him to the vet. They're closed.
Ladybug thought about it for a moment. Then, it struck her.
We should send him to the Duban Chings. It's close by. They should be able to find some help.
It's the only thing we can do right now. I'll call Marinette and tell her you're coming. Come on, Chloe. I'll take you home too.
Thank you, but afterwards, I am getting in a hot bath. Your scent smells awful.
Before she left, she de-transformed, took off her Miraculous, and handed it back to Ladybug.
Merry Christmas, Ladybug!
Then Chloe hopped on Cat Noir's back, and they left.
Maybe I can see if Adrian can come over to see if there's anything he can do.
If he's still awake, you mean?
Right, that's what I meant.
He then de-transformed and handed his Miraculous back to Renee, who handed it back to Ladybug.
Can a guy get a lift back, Rena Rouge?
You have suffered enough. Alright, give me a moment.
Renee helped Ladybug pick up Thomas.
I'll bring mine back soon, Ladybug. Just get Thomas to the bakery safely.
Ladybug nodded and watched as her friend took her boyfriend home. Then, she tended to Thomas.
Hold on, lady.
Thomas bleated in surprise as Ladybug jumped on the roofs and headed back to the bakery.
You may have saved Christmas this time, Ladybug, but next Christmas, you won't be so lucky. Nuru, Darkwing's Fall.
After de-transforming, he carried Natalie to the guest room and laid her down on a rose-patterned bedspread, tucking her in as well.
Did we get them?
Gabriel shook his head.
They got the upper hand again. But don't worry, you made them work for it.
Merry Christmas, sir.
Merry Christmas, Natalie.
Back at the Dupain Chain Bakery, Tom, Sabine, and Alia's sisters were awake, looking over Thomas with a de-transformed Marinette and Alia. They were waiting for Miss Couvain and the veterinarian.
So this little guy caused so much trouble? I don't see how he could hurt anybody.
Ladybug said he was abused, Dad, and Hawkmoth took advantage of the situation. It wasn't his fault.
I know. It's just sad some people would hurt animals like this.
Thank goodness that Ladybug was able to save him before it got any worse.
Etta and Ella looked at the goat with intrigue.
So this little goat was the Krampus? And we missed it? I would have loved to see the Krampus.
Trust me. No, you wouldn't. Unlike this goat here, he wouldn't take any mercy on you because you're children. Like Dad said, he'd kill you.
Sabine gave a reproachful glare at her husband.
You know that's not the real story of Krampus. Plus, what did I say about telling that story?
True, but it is still fun to tell. Well, sometimes I do go overboard with telling the story.
That's putting it mildly.
I'm sorry, Marinette. I like the story of Krampus, and I end up going overboard.
Are you kidding? I want to see the Krampus myself! The Krampus sounds really cool. I kind of want to see him.
Yeah, let's not say we did.
Yeah, I've never been so scared in all my life.
Just then, Nino and Adrian came through the door.
We came as soon as we heard. Is the goat gonna be okay?
Adrian, hi. I thought you'd be asleep.
She was gonna kill Cat Noir later.
I wanted to see how the goat is doing.
Adrian looked at Thomas and bent over to ask him.
You don't think I'm a pervert, do you?
Thomas looked at Adrian lightly, hooved his face, and walked towards Marinette.
Thanks for calling us. Thomas, that's the goat's name according to the tag on his ear, will be just fine. I managed to clean up his wounds and dress them. Plus, I gave him some painkillers to allow him to sleep. You folks did the right thing by calling us. People think that because animals are on farms that they are safe, but sometimes when you see them, it's a different story. I can't even begin to tell you the things I've seen.
But what about food?
Of course. Though, be careful of what you do feed him. Here are some brochures that'll help you over the next couple of days.
Maybe Krampus will come back. Oh boy, race you upstairs! The rest of you, I will make a fire in the lounge.
They led Thomas into the lounge and set up the sleeping bags Tom brought down, while Sabine stacked up the logs on the fire.
Wait a minute, Nino, what about you and Adrian?
I told my mom we might be staying the night to help out, but she made me promise to be back before dinner. Well, I think maybe we can head back in the morning and help open gifts. Yeah, that we can do. Besides, right now, this is more important.
That I agree with.
As they settled down, Alia was already asleep with Nino by her side asleep, when Adrian decided to settle with Marinette. He laid the sleeping bag next to her and climbed in.
So, Marinette, is this how you expected Christmas to go?
Not really. I mean, I never thought I'd be face to face with a monster from my childhood.
That's something you would never expect. But, you know, I think the situation may be special in its own way.
What do you mean?
Last year, I was lost without my mom. Christmas was rather disappointing. My dad didn't seem to care, and I was in a real bad place. I ran away. But a Santa Claus convinced me to return home. Even though he got Akumatized because Ladybug thought he was a Nakuma.
Yeah, but what has that to do with this share?
Well, we're helping Thomas, giving him a good Christmas. You guys helped me last year, so we're giving back. Poor guy. He must be scared.
You believe you would be in it?
Fair point. But there must be something we can do.
Maybe we can play him a lullaby.
What kind of lullaby?
She whispered the name of the song to Adrian, and he smiled.
That's a fitting one, considering everything.
Thomas was starting to yawn, and Marinette switched on her MP3 player, and the song played softly. Thomas listened to the song and slowly started to fall asleep as he heard the last notes of the song.
Merry Christmas, Marinette.
Merry Christmas, Adrian.